the most stressful parts of college are the beginning and the end. When I first walked into the classroom, I was late and nervous. And now the semester is over, I'm feeling those familiar feelings resurfacing again. But even though I have those feelings, I have learned a lot from this class about myself, my teacher, my classmates, etc. And I want to talk about that today. Hello, my name is Garcita, and today I'll be covering my experience in 3 points: course, course, project, and application. So let's go start with the course. My first impression of the course that seemed structured and the students seemed really engaged. As the lessons continued, I was intrigued to learn that the companies would use the True Colors personality tests to determine whether a person is right for the job. Professor Tawahi taught this in one of his lectures and made us take a test. I got the color green. Green people are usually researchers and are known for their asking why mentality. So they usually ask lots of questions. And I say those descriptions are true for me. But back then, the only personality test I was familiar was with the 16 personality tests, and I got an INTJ in that one. And I thought that those type of personality tests were only used for fun. I had no idea that they would also use it for business, or even to hire someone for a job. Another thing that kind of stuck with me was that when Percy Tawahi called us a sheep as a way to explain the lack of critical thinking, and he wanted us to be like shepherds, like critical thinkers. I was taken aback because I usually hear this term mostly in a biblical setting, and God kind of used to call his people a lot, people who follow him, the people that he created, sheep a lot in the Bible. But the difference is that he would usually describe them because they're lost. But even though Professor Tawahi probably did not mean it that way, I could not help but feel a little happy that some biblical terms are freely used in a college setting. And then by the end of the semester, we were assigned to work on a project. This was a group project. We will work as teams of 2 and write 5-year projects for our partners. Coincidentally, I got paired up with a past classmate, DJ David J. Osborne, or what I known him as DJ. Weirdly enough, this is my first time working with him. I right away made a group chat with Justin and me and set up a meeting time with him so we can talk about ourselves. I was kind of surprised that he wanted to be a firefighter so he could save lives. That made me think that his goal is kind of noble in a way, at least for a college student. Some students that I've seen do not really think that far about what they want to do for others, at least in my personal opinion. Anyway, I wanted to use the pyramid framework. The pyramid framework was used to get to know him. This pyramid framework was used to get to know someone's life, especially if the employee is having problems with how he's working. And they would use this to get to the down, like what's the actual main source of this problem. Professor Tawahi used me as example for this. Funny enough, in class, the students asked me if I hit my coworkers, but my only coworker is my family. So when I revealed that, the reactions were kind of funny to me. But for me, when I used it, I wanted to use this framework for DJ, my partner, to understand what situation he's in, what type of circumstance he's in the moment. So whenever solutions I gave him, it's still something manageable he could do. When I used it, I think that DJ and me have in common is that we are both part of a family business. A food one, even. And we also try to help out where we can, like picking a business major and making our class schedule work with the business hours that our family creates. It made me realize that what I'm doing in school may be something that other people are experiencing too. One thing that makes me really pretty happy is that when working with DJ was that he was very cooperative and agreeable, unlike my past teammates from last semester. Makes me kind of hope that next semester, if I get to do any group projects, that the teammates will have an attitude to try their best and do their part and apply it in their daily lives. Which leads me to the last point, application. One thing I will apply in my life is that everything is the lesson, everything's a religion. Professor Tawahi taught this in one of his lectures. And I believe that stuck with me. That, yes, whoever centers around their morals around can be considered a religion or belief. Money, status, looks, grades, parents, comfort, goals, etc. I believe people should keep this in mind more and reflect if this is what they want to their belief to be about and where this type of religion would take them. One example in my personal life that I find very important is that one of my friends, she tends to be impulsive and usually centers around what's ever beneficial for her. And this would include people. So I noticed that if she can't find anything beneficial from someone, she will not make the effort to be their friend or give them any courtesy, even if they're my friends. This, for me, I could see her future being kind of lonely, in my opinion. That if she continues this type of attitude, a lot of people may not be close to her in the long term. But she may get a high-paying job because of this mindset. Now, how this may apply to my personal life is that my identity always starts with Christ, Jesus Christ, before anything. So a lot of times my belief can go against my Filipino or Chamorro culture, my own desires, and sometimes a business mindset. So how I see things makes me the odd one out most of the time. But the one thing that's changed about my mindset when I first started this course was that I've come to realize that I can find a biblical lesson from even the most surprising places. Initially, I thought that Bible studies, churches, or any Bible-related content is the only one way I can grow my faith with God. But now taking this class, I learned that I can find a lot of biblical related things from even people who don't believe in God themselves, due to the various lessons assignments in the course. This journey has taught me that spiritual lessons can be found anywhere, and it's up to me to have an open ear to listen to those insights, no matter where they come from. So, in conclusion, my experience of the semester was covered in course, project, and application. Even though the semester is ending, it does not mean we stop learning and growing from other people, even those who may not share the same ideals. Thank you for listening, and I hope my experience and other people's experience taught you a lot too.